कुंज विहारी गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरावनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम राम राम। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। जय श्री श्री राधा गोपीनाथ की, श्री श्री राधा वृंदावन चंद्र की, श्री श्री राधा कुंज बिहारी की, श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की, श्री श्री गौर निताई की, श्रीनिवास वेंकटेश्वर बालाजी की, समावेत भक्त वृंद की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shanyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Once His Grace Radha Gopinath Prabhu was telling in his seminar that the disciplines and rules and regulations that we teach in this movement are only possible to be followed when there is a Priti Lakshanam between devotees, which gives the juice and the strength for a devotee to accept the rules and regulations. Otherwise, he said, if you say, give up this, give up that, they will give you up and run away. Like that he was joking once. So, therefore, this is a very important topic. So, we will recite one verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam. Actually, for building any community, Bhakti Shakti, Prita Lakshanam, and Dakshata. These are things which Prabhupada stresses in many of his letters. So, individually, every devotee, by the strength of sadhana, strength of preaching, they naturally attract many people to come to Prabhupada's mission. So, strength of sadhana, I heard one South Indian Sri Vaishnava example. Our strength of sadhana produces, strength of Siddhanta, understanding produces the vision to see. And sadachara is like the legs. If one is lame, then one cannot reach the vision to many people. On the other hand, we need a combination of both Siddhanta and Sadachara. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a very shining example of Priti Purna Vyavahar and Yukti Purna Prachar. These two things. In his dealings, he was Priti Purna. And in his presentation, he was like Yukti Purna Prachar means like thunderbolt. He spoke the truth without compromise. One amazing thing with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is he would deal in such a way that the people whom he came across will open their heart and take him inside their hearts. And after going inside, he'll put a bomb and remove their anarthas. And same happened with Bhattacharya, Sarvam Bhattacharya when he dealt with him, or when he dealt with Prakashanand Saraswati. So, therefore, this gives us a method of reconciling whether we should speak the truth in a straightforward manner or should we postpone telling the truth to people in order for the preeti not to get affected. So, we all have seen our spiritual master as well as Radhanath Maharaj. On the Vyasasana, he will speak the truth very boldly and clearly in a crystal clear manner. When he gets off the Vyasasana, nobody can be so personal and friendly like him, with practically from a small child up to the oldest devotee. So he very beautifully emulates the model of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So here is Krishna Sudama. I have taken this example for one reason. You will see that as we proceed. So you want Devanagari script or you want this? Both I have put. You can prefer whichever one you say, I'll show it. Which one? This is better? Yeah. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudiraye. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavatyuttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. So we'll recite this sloka. Vayam brisham tatra mahanilambubhir nihanyamana mahurambu samplave disho avidanto taparasparam vane grihita hastah paribhabrimaturaha Vayam bhrisham tatra mahanilambubhir nihanyamana mahurambu samplave disho vidanto taparasparam vane grihita hastah paribhabrimaturaha. We can have a couple of devotees from Prabhuji's, couple of Mataji's. Recite. It's very important verse. Vayam vrisham tatra mahanilambubhir nihanyamana mahurambu samplave disho vidanto taparasparam vane grihita hasta paribhabrimaturaha. Vayam vrisham tatra mahanilambubhir nihanyamana mahurambu samplave disho vidanto taparasparam vane grihita hasta paribhabrimaturaha. Mataji's. Vayam vrisham tatra mahanilambubhir nihanyamana mahurambu samplave disho vidanto taparasparam vane grihita hasta paribhabrimaturaha. Anyone else? Parasparam vane grihita hasta paribhabrimatu. So this is Lord Krishna speaking to Sudama about the stay in the Gurukula days. He's telling that grihita hasta, we were catching each other's hand, Sudama, and paribhabri matura. And in our other hand, we were carrying the firewood on the order of Guru Mata. We're bringing the firewood from the forest. See the right side picture. Krishna Sudama, they are clasping their hands, which represents Prita Lakshanam, loving relationship. And the other hand, they are holding the sticks, which represents service to the mission. So, what is important? Is mission important or missionary important? So, some devotees are saying mission. Both are important. Is goose important or the golden eggs important? So, if we are only attentive on picking up the golden eggs, and ignore feeding the goose, then when goose dies, golden egg stops. Or if we feed the goose very nicely and keep on walking ahead and golden eggs are falling on the ground, we don't care for it. Then it will be one-sided too. So the goose, if you compare the devotees of the organization to the goose and the golden egg, the rendering the services that they render to the mission, one time it's only Ranat Maharaj spoke in a lecture. We actually care for people, and then people will make the projects happen. Uh, So both will flourish actually if we and care for the devotees. At the same time, the devotees have to be empowered to do great things also. So we need both the people and the projects. So here you see people and project together. And Krishna and Sudama are catching the hand and carrying the firewood for pleasing the spiritual master. So this is the translation here. We were thoroughly caught up in the wind and the water. He says that was a great flood, constantly besieged by the powerful wind and rain. We lost our way amidst the flooding waters. We simply held each other's hands and, in great distress, wandered aimlessly about the forest. Either Krishna is telling Sudama. So, one thing that creates thick bonds between devotees is when they come together for some common service, when they enter some service together. And also, in that service, if there is a struggle, then they get a chance to struggle together and they feel sympathy for each other, empathy for each other, and helping one another for a common goal that forms very strong emotional bonds between devotees. And that's why we see Krishna and Sudama developed a very thick, loving bond in their Gurukula days, irrespective of their economic status. Sudama was a poor Brahmin, Krishna became king of Dwaraka. They became very thickly related. Here is another example of Krishna clasping Uddhava's hands affectionately. Vrishninam pravaro mantri Krishnasya daita saka Seshyo Brihaspate Sakshat Uddhavo Buddhisattamaha, it is said. For Krishna, Uddhava was a very dear associate. He was the best of the ministers amongst the Vrishnis. And he was a disciple of Brihaspati. And he was very dear. Daitasya Saka means very dear friend of Krishna. And Uddhavo Buddhisattamaha, it is said. He was most intelligent actually. Even Krishna would take advice from him. When once Uddhava was approached by Krishna, what I should do? Should I go to the Rajasuya Yajna or should we finish Jarasandha? All the Yadus were jumping, like Pradyumna, Aniruddha and all said, we immediately want to go and attack Jarasandha and finish him. We got opportunity to do a war now. But Uddhava told them, please relax now, because there is only one person who can kill Jarasandha. Who is that? Bhima. And he also cannot kill alone. He will need the help of Krishna and Arjuna. Then three of them should go, and three of them should not go and ask, directly fight. They should beg for a war, duel fight. All that Uddhava was the one who gave that idea. Krishna consults Uddhava. So here, Krishna catching the hand of Uddhava is also similar meaning. That shows the pre-election between the two. Here, Krishna is telling Uddhava that, Uddhava, besides you, nobody can pacify the Vajabasis. I want you to go to Vrindavan and give a message to the Vajabasis. So Krishna gave a one-line letter to Uddhava, which Uddhava carried, and he gave a 3 months purport to that letter. Such a long talk Uddhava had for that. See, who can expand that one line into 3 months? That is only possible if somebody loves Krishna so dearly. Basically, in that one line, what was the content? Krishna said to gopis that, since I am present in the hearts of all, you can never be separated from me. That's all. That was the line. So, but then Uddhava expanded it with all the pastimes and everything. So for that, there has to be pure love in the heart. I heard there was one queen in North India, one Rajput queen. She went to see Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra and Puri. And after taking darshan, she fell in love with the deities. She didn't want to leave for some time. She stayed many weeks and then later on she had to go back. When she went back to North again, she wanted to send some gift to Jagannath. So she sent a big box like this, huge. So that was taken by one person. She said that please make sure Jagannath gets this. So it was taken and given to the Pandas in Jagannath Puri. So the Pandas were thinking that because Queen has sent, she must have sent jewelry and all that they thought, necklaces, jewelry and all that she must have sent. So they opened it. A lot of packing was done. Finally, they found only one leaf. Then they threw it away. They said, what to do with this? They just put it in one corner. And that night, Jagannath came in the dream and asked the Pandas, where is the gift that Queen sent me? Huh? They were shocked. They said, there was nothing. She cheated us. There was nothing valuable inside. Jagannath said, go back. I want that leaf. It should be kept in front of me. Then the Pandas next day kept it in front of Jagannath. What was written there, do you know? She wrote a poem for Jagannath that, dear Jagannath, you are the master of the whole universe. Who can provide you what? There is nothing that you don't have. But when I learnt more about you, I understood that even you are missing something. And what is that? And that is your mind, which Vijavasis have stolen. You are in Dwaraka, but your mind is in Vrindavan. So I can see as Jagannath, you are ecstatic Krishna who is crying always, remembering Vijavasis. And I can't get Vijavasi's mind to you. That is not in my hand. But at least I can give my mind to you. Please take it. Like that she wrote. And that was so touching to Jagannath. Because, if a big person, what can he lack? But if somebody gives him something, considering that I want to please him, it's very pleasing to Jagannath. So, in this way, she understood the mood of Jagannath. So, Jagannath was very pleased with the poem. So, Preetalakshan can only happen when there is a snigdha relationship. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu felt that snigdhata with Ramanandaraya. He felt that with Haridas Thakur. He felt that with Sanatana Goswami. He also felt that even with superiors like Rangapuri or Paramananda Puri. Actually, when Mahaprabhu stayed in Jagannath Puri, Paramananda Puri came to see him and he stayed also a long time. He would see him. Often he would come there and stay. But Mahaprabhu didn't feel that comfortable with Ramachandra Puri. He didn't feel that. So, therefore, you see, friendships are formed and strengthened when there is a snigdhata. You can see, like Ramanandra, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I told you. Nityananda Prabhu, Advaita Acharya Prabhu. Anybody knows who is the friend of Saru Damodar? Saru Damodar is very close friend. Pundrika Vidyanidhi. Very close friend. Sanatana Goswami and Haridas Thakur. Very good friends. Also. Similarly, anybody knows who is the friend of Sarum Bhattacharya? Thick friend. Who? Yeah. Gopinath Acharya. Gopinath Acharya. Prabhupada writes there, Gopinath Acharya was chastising Sarum Bhattacharya. Sometimes by scolding, sometimes by blaspheming, sometimes by praising. In all ways, he tried to convince him that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Supreme Personality of Godhead. So somebody may say, if you say that they have Priti Lakshanam, how he can blaspheme or become angry on him? Actually, once love is there, very thick love is there, the relationships are deeply formed. Anger also intensifies the relationship between the two. You see Gopinath Acharya and Sarvabhattacharya, they were so thick in relation. Bhattacharya was, as you all know, that pastime. Bhattacharya is asking question to him. How do you say that you have received Lord Krishna's mercy and I haven't received it? He said, if you have received mercy, you should have firm faith that Chaitanya is not different from Krishna. So when they talk in the dialogue, you can read. Prabhupada says this in one translation, one of the translations. So they were very thickly. Similarly, you will see Nityananda Prabhu and Advaita Acharya Prabhu, Ekadena Shantipure, pastime happens in the house of Advaita Acharya. There is a lot of humor between them. If new people read that section, they will get bewildered. They may not understand. Those devotees are practicing for a long time, they can appreciate the pastime. So there is humor, sometimes there is anger, but the priti only gets more intensified. It's like chandan, chandan gives more fragrance when you upbraid it, even more. So, therefore, snigdha, swatovara, and what the other one? Sajatiya. So, The like-minded people come together and develop a preeti for each other very strongly. Like when Chaitanya Charapu was in Pune here, um, in the early days when he was here, I used to spend Saturday afternoon a couple of hours with him. He used to come with a lot of questions. Sometimes 30, 40 questions he will have. I used to answer that. So in the course of answering his questions, sometimes I was not, sufficiently talented in science to answer all his questions. So I would give an answer which may not be so much appealing to him. So he would argue and I would argue. Sometimes we had heated argument also over some answer, in scientific answer. And time went by. So one day I felt that, I should connect him to somebody who can speak in his language. It is in English, we call it as a hearing from horse's mouth. Like that we call it. So I had invited Michael Krama. What's his name? Initiated name? Dhutakarma Prabhu. He had come to Pune. So I went to Dhutakarma Prabhu in the room and told him, Prabhu, here there is one scientific genius in our temple. So I'm going to send him to you. So please help him out with his questions. He said, oh, by all means, I have ample of time in the day, he said. So Chaitanya Charapu went to him, 3-4 hours he sat with him. And he came out as a very humble devotee. Completely humble. He said, Prabhu, and I can tell you in those 2 days, what Dhruva Prabhu influenced him, I could not influence him in a decade also. Those 2 days, Chaitanya Charapu was a transformed man. I felt like, Lord Chaitanya went to Gaya and came back. you know, he was, he was like, Goloka haunted. Huh? So I asked Chaitanya Prabhu, how you are feeling like this? He said, Prabhu, what a wonderful devotee he is. He is a great Krishna devotee. At the same time, he has answers for all scientific questions I had. So after that, he started writing to him regularly. They both used to have interaction. Many times they met. Similarly, one time I was in Chaubari temple. His Holiness Ranath Maharaj was giving a lecture, and one scientist had come from TIFR, and he was also sitting in the chair behind. And after Maharaj's lecture, that scientist and one more gentleman with him, I think that gentleman was a devotee, I think. He brought the scientist to Maharaj. And of course, that devotee offered obeisance to Maharaj. This fellow seems to be a new fellow, TFR. He was just standing like this. Then Maharaj asked him, oh, he was in my lecture? He liked the lecture? Ask him. Like that Maharaj asked. So he asked the scientist. Maharaj is asking, how did you find the lecture? He said, it was good. I'm very pleased to see so many people here, all sitting and attentively hearing. Very nice. But he said, but I have many, many scientific questions about science and spirituality. If Swamiji has time, I can ask, he said. Then Maharaj said, one devotee to go and call that, or Vrishabhanu Prabhu he called. I think his name was Bhaskar Hosangadi, I think, correct? Correct name? Yeah. So Maharaj introduced him. This is Bhaskar Hosangadi, Maharaj is saying, his personality. He's also a scientist like you. You both of you sit. So he made them sit in the seat, on the side. And they spent an hour or two. And while going, that scientist was very happy after meeting him also. So then when he met Maharaj, he said, Maharaj, whatever you want to ask you, it's all cleared now. He said. So this is the meaning of like-minded. Like-minded means when we can connect. Like when I became president in Pune, 1997, 95 I came here. So I used to go to Bombay. I connected with many of the seniors for specific purposes where I could draw help. Like this Shamanand Prabhu, he's a genius in management subject. Huh? He's not only from MBA background. He suggested me many nice books to read at that time, which will be very elementary to read and understand, managing situations and everything. And also when he would present the situations, he would give very, very good solutions to that. Huh? Very, very nice solutions. And also, Radha Gopinath Prabhu, uh, I used to especially ask him questions when I'm very frustrated in dealing with devotees. Like one time I told him that, Prabhu, I made a plan like this. These devotees are not following. You see, they are doing something on their own. Then he told the story of how Maharaj once took us for yatra to Ramana. And in the moonlit night, Maharaj asked, how many of you would like to eat that Amrita Keli? Everybody loudly shouted, Hari Bol. But then managers told Maharaj that, Maharaj, they will eat that in the bus itself. You want to go back? And Maharaj knows how to get a thing done. He told the managers, let us check with devotees what they want. And then Maharaj described how in this beautiful moonlit night of Ramuna, sitting under the moon, would you like to take the Amrit Keli right now? Or you wish very quickly in the bus only just put like this and go? Which one you want? So naturally devotees know, by Maharaj's description they know which one to choose. So after the Maharaj told managers, what can I do? Devotees want to take now. You get the baskets now. So managers came and Maharaj is so wonderful. And next day morning, Maharaj again looked at the managers. Are they morose or are they happy? And he called them. Is everything all right? He asked them. And Maharaj said, yes, Maharaj, they said. And Maharaj said, you see, man proposes or Chaitanya disposes. He was telling. So, when Radheshyamdas Prabhu would tell me this pastime, I had a good laughter. After that, my problem in Pune was dissolved. You don't have to exactly solve the problem. You you can share things from our person. This is the meaning of Guhyamakati Prichati. Out of the 6 items, this is the most important item. Guhyamakati Prichati. Because the purpose of giving a gift is what? Like, once a husband wife had a quarrel. So the doctor found that the husband was the unreasonable fellow, not the wife. So then he told only the husband to come to his hospital. He said that, you are treating your wife like a machine, so you have to modify your behavior. So you start at least, alternate days giving her a bunch of flowers. He said, go and give her a bunch of flowers. The man said, what is the meaning of giving a bunch of flowers? He said, the woman will decode the bunch of flowers as a sign of love that you cannot understand. You just do this, he said. So then after a month he met them. He asked the wife, are you happy? She said, she's not happy. He asked the husband, are you happy? He said, I'm the same case. I'm also not happy. I told you to give the flowers. Did you give? He said, yes. He asked the wife, did you receive the flowers? He said, oh, he never gave me. He just left it in the table and went. So now he understood that this fellow is like, die hard. I mean, he is what? He is not interested in connecting. Similarly, you will see the conditioned soul, he doesn't want to connect with Krishna. Therefore, Acharya is telling, take a flower, rotate the flower. They do like this, as if they are doing exercise. Actually, why the Acharya is telling, take a flower and offer to Lord, some love will arise. If you take a flower and offer to the Lord. The Acharyas are always trying to connect the jivas to Krishna. Please look at him, take darshan of the deities, bow down to him, offer a flower. Connect. Don't try to disconnect and turn your back. They're trying to connect us. Nowadays in India, in many homes, they have a low voltage, this lamp. They put a electric this thing. Even electric agarbatti is also there. You know that? Like this here, and the tip is electrical, that red color thing. They put this, they put a low voltage and they put plastic flowers and they think I don't have to go to puja room. Puja room can be catching cobwebs. They will not go. But the purpose is defeated. Why the Lord says Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam? Because He knows if you give Pushpam to Lord today, tomorrow you will have to go to Him. While removing the flowers, you will look at Him. And then similarly, fruit also, it will rot if you don't take it away. You take it and give a new one. So the whole idea of Krishna asking for organic items is you will have to come. He doesn't want plastic items. So love cannot be plastic. Love is organic. So therefore the cardboard face and plastic smiles of the modern times can never touch the heart of anybody. On the other hand, when it is genuinely coming from the heart, that touches everybody very deeply. One time in Chopar temple, some 2 ladies had come, senior ladies. Maharaj gave a lecture and at the end Maharaj said, would you like to say some words of inspiration? Like that he said. So one of the ladies took the mic and she said, she said that we may come to temple in the weekend, we may, take prasad, we may take darshan of deities. Simply doing all these things doesn't make us serious devotees. She said, we have to chant the holy name inoffensively, purely, helplessly. Unless we learn this, any other devotional activity done in big quantities is of no help. Like that she spoke something. There was a pin drop silence. Everybody froze. Nobody spoke anything. And then Maharaj then, thank you, Maharaj said, and then gave the mic to another lady. She said, I'm so happy to be here in Chowpatty. I have only been hearing the glories of Chowpatty. For the first time I am coming. Here the ladies are so good. They are taking care of me like a mother. I don't have to bother about anything in my life. They give me prasad, they put me in the car, they take me to homes. They treat me as if they know me for last 50 years. I am feeling so much at home. I am only lamenting that I have to go back tomorrow. But definitely when I come next year, I am going to have an extended stay here. And she said, Maharaj, you are such a wonderful person. You are keeping this community together so well. Prabhupada will be so pleased with you. And Prabhupada will be glancing at all these devotees in Chowpatty and they will cry tears of joy. I am very grateful to be here, she said. And then what followed was a standing ovation. Ta, 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 ta. 5 minutes it went on like that. So what I learned from that episode was, it is not enough to give only knowledge. We have to give that knowledge with compassion. So Radhanath Maharaj says 3 things we have to give when we give to people. Cap. You can remember the cap. You have to wear that cap. What is it? Compassionate, authoritative, pleasing. 3 things he says. All 3 are important. We have to speak the knowledge compassionately. When I was traveling in one place, I came to know that there was one preacher who was doing a 7-day course. And one of the 7 days he was doing was 28 types of hells he conducted. He told the people, because in that village many people are drinking and taking tobacco, he said, तंबाकू खाओगे ये नरक में जाओगे, शराब पियोगे तुमको मोल्टन आयन पे आ जाएगा. And hearing that, many old fellows are trembling. ऐसा क्या? See, you cannot. This is an example of opposite example, correct, no? So the medicine of Krishna consciousness has to be administered compassionately. Otherwise, administered passionately will lead to fear. Just like, for example, say some of you might have seen the small hen you have seen, this yellow color or pink color. Very cute looking hen, this much size. You've seen that? Very, very small. They look like, what do you call this? Panjamitai, Panjamitai? Anybody knows Tamil here? What is the Panjamitai in Hindi? Sugar candy it is. They sometimes they take in a glass thing and a very soft. Cotton candy, yeah. Correct. I think it's cotton candy, I think. What you call correct. Round. Actually, if you do this, it will become. Yeah. You understand? It's very soft, isn't it? So this hen is also like that. This hen will look like that. The small hen, no? Very tender looking. So if you want to feed that hen, you feel you develop some affection for the hen. You want to give it. If you catch the hen and give it, my Lord, hen will run away. But if you're sitting and you throw like this and don't even look at it, and then after some time, and you will see, it will see that this fellow want to serve me, not want to exploit me. So it will take it, you'll eat like this, you will see that, and you'll finish everything. You will see that. So that is the way, that's what compassionate giving. Compassionately giving. Generally, living entities are afraid of 3 things. They want to make sure that somebody who is under whose custody I am, that person doesn't neglect me. That person doesn't exploit me. That person doesn't destroy me. So these are things which living entities don't like. Nobody likes to be destroyed. Destroyed doesn't mean physically you kill them. You can destroy them by publicly offending them, by blaspheming them, or dehumanizing them by rumor mongering about them. All these things. His Holiness Narendra Swami has spoken on this in Mayapur very strongly. 20 minutes he spoke. If you rumor monger about devotees, gossip about devotees, even if you subtly criticize other leaders, while speaking to your people, in order to make sure you can hold them with you, if you do that, or you subtly hint people that you should take diksha only from my guru, things like that. So when we do that, that's very damaging to the psychology of the people. So therefore, people don't like to be destroyed like that. And people don't like to be exploited. People want to make sure that why the commercial things are so much criticized. Because people don't want to be exploited or cheated. And also people don't want to be neglected by somebody. Another very important thing that people hate is when we throw false expectations from them. And also we want to clone them to be what we want them to be and not allow them to be what they are. So these are things the living entities hate. Any part of the world you go, it's not only in India or America, any place, nobody will like it. So what is the opposite of these things? Uh, For example, if I am in a parent role or a mentor role, I should not neglect people in my care, and I should nurture them, nourish them, pay attention to them, give some importance to them. And also there is difference in psychology between the younger devotees and the grown-up devotees. So my spiritual master taught me this when I was facing many challenges in my dealing with some of the adolescent devotees in Pune. Maharaj was telling, see, when devotees are very young, they want more emotional support and love and care and your attention, and they want a fatherly support. They want motherly and fatherly type of support, he said. And on the other hand, he said, when somebody is grown up, their needs are different. He said they want to be respected. They want to be given freedom. They have to be trusted. And they have to be given opportunity to face challenges in their life. They want to commit mistakes and learn from them and grow out of the mistakes. And they want you to still trust them, even when they commit mistakes. And they also want you to give them dignity. And they want you to deal with them like a friend, not like an authority. So he said, when you do this, and also Maharaj said, it's not that they hate you. They want to do something wonderful and show you. They don't want you to give instructions to them what to do. Rather, they want to be empowered by you so that they can do wonderful things. Like you said, like Krishna, he doesn't do anything. He just sits and keeps suggesting. And who is actually actor? In Krishna Arjuna combination, who is actor? Arjuna is actor. Arjuna is acting. And Krishna is suggesting. That's all. If Arjuna asks something, he will be available for Arjuna. He is just available. And I can honestly touch my heart and tell you, all these wonderful devotees like Shamanand Prabhu, Radha Gopinath Prabhu, Sanatkumar Prabhu, Gauranga Prabhu, Govind Prabhu, they were exactly playing this role for me in my life. So they were available for me whenever I went to Chopar temple or when I called them on phone, and they never had any expectation from me. If I do big things, they will appreciate me. If I don't do anything, they will have the same affection for me. It was unconditional love. And also, they were never too busy. They never showed me the schedule saying that how can you suddenly come or anything like that. Any time of the day you go, they were available. So when nobody, I mean, when those under whom you are there, they don't have expectations from you. They want to see about your welfare, and they don't exploit you. They don't destroy you or your reputation or your name. Even if somebody would go and say bad about me, they would bring it to me in a way that I can reform. The goal or intention is to uplift me, not to, join others in calling names about me. So these are things which actually brings priti between superiors and subordinates. So I think they could capture Maharaja's heart very powerfully, being very close to him and associating with him frequently. And also in those days, Maharaj used to take some classes for them, I heard. And I also see similar qualities, in Krishna Chandra Prabhu and all of you counselors. The same mood Maharaj has given, which is actually this type of heart is required for real Priti Lakshanam to happen. Otherwise, Priti Lakshanam cannot. Therefore, it's really compassionate. And second one is authoritative. Authoritative means what? We cannot bluff anything in the name of being compassionate. We have to speak the truth. So sometimes when we fear to speak the truth, thinking that it will lead to rejection or a person will go away. Like in one Bhakti Vriksha program, one very good family used to come. Very pious family, South Indian family. So one class they attended and stopped coming for 3 months. Then the Bhakti Vriksha leader wanted to know why they stopped coming. So he sent one family to them and they revealed their mind to them. They said that they are telling us to stop coffee. We never thought they will tell us. We have to take filter coffee morning and evening 2 times. Without that we cannot live only. So when the leader came to know, then he sent a packet of herbal coffee, he sent. So when they took herbal coffee, they felt it's good, it's a good substitute. Then they started coming to program after that, regularly again. So many times people don't speak up, like we say, unspoken feelings and unexpressed emotions. Those who can understand it, only they can actually have Preeti Lakshana. Because unspoken feelings means what? You can, for example, if a son is coming into home, going, not talking to father or mother, and mother is asking, Beta, did you eat now? I ate in the hotel outside. Mother is saying. And father is asking, Beta, how is your college going? Quite well. That's all he speaks. So, and father and mother are wondering why he doesn't talk to us properly. What am I not giving? I'm giving him food, giving him clothing, I gave him a separate room, I've given him a car, I've given everything. Which parent will give you so much? We are giving you everything. Why don't you be normal? Like the parents ask. But then, when this boy goes to his friends, 2 hours he talks, ha ha ha, he, hoo hoo hoo. There he connects very well. You've seen this, people doing this? Uh, that means there is some stigma in his heart which he is not expressing to parents in the way they treat him. Like when I went to South India, one mother was telling me, Prabhuji, please talk to my son. I am afraid he should not get some mental problem. He's studying for IIT JEE, one boy. She told me to take him to another room and talk to him. I talked to the boy. The mother is very worried about you, that you should not get any mental problem. You have any problem in the mind? I said, I have no problem except my mother, he said. I said, really? What is the problem? Prabhuji, she wants me to get into IIT, but I cannot. She always tells, see Radheshyam Prabhu, see Gauranga Prabhu. See, they are also Hare Krishna devotees. They got into IIT. You must get into IIT. Then I told my mother, Maji, he's quite normal. Only thing is, you give up your expectation. Prabhuji, is it wrong for a mother to want son to join IIT? I said, but he feels imposition and that is causing a problem in the mind. So when we impose our expectations on others, then the Preeti Lakshana cannot remain. It becomes strained. Here comes a very interesting example I'll tell you. When I came to Govardhanako village, His Grace Jananivas Prabhu was speaking a lecture to all brahmacharis. And one brahmachari asked that, Prabhu, can brahmacharis also have emotional need? Or is it important for them to get support from some senior and all that? Prabhu said, there's no need of any counseling for brahmacharis because you're super soul in your heart. You can consult him, He will always help you. Dadami buddhi yogam tam, he'll give you everything. So then I wanted to explain his question to Prabhu. I said, I raised my hand and took the mic and said, Prabhu, are you saying that just as grihasthas have counselors, they get support. Similarly, brahmacharis also, if they have seniors, I was telling that even I have support from many seniors. They're always available for me. Anytime I want, I can fall back on them. So, Prabhu, I thought if I say this, Prabhuji will agree that yes, counseling is required. So he told me, okay, Radheshyam Prabhu, if you know better about this, you can explain to him. As far as I am concerned, I understanding Super Soul is our counselor and he's the purest counselor. Because he is Paramatma. Who can be better than him? Then after that, Gaurang was sitting next to me and like this, कुछ पूछने का नहीं. He told me, अपराध हो जाएगा. He said, you know. Then later on, the meeting got over. I came out. I asked the Gaurang Prabhu, did he say anything wrong? Then Gaurang Prabhu taught me one lesson. He said, you should only ask questions which a person is very comfortable to answer. Those type of topics you should ask. You ask Prabhuji about Mayapur Narsimha. You ask such questions. He will happily answer. This is not his field. If you want to ask this question, go to Guru Maharaj. He will answer. He said. Then I went to Guru Maharaj in the afternoon. One problem with me is I'm very straightforward. I cannot keep anything inside. So I went to Maharaj and said, Maharaj, you are father of counseling, and Jayanadas Prabhu is your thickest friend. And he's saying just opposite to what you're saying. He says there's no need of counselor, super soul is counselor. Hmm. And I have a question, Maharaj. How you can make such thick friends with him? You people, both of you don't seem to be like-minded. Sajatiya, like that I said. And Maharaj immediately understood my question. He said, let me tell you, Radheshyam, it's a very simple thing, Maharaj said. If you have a bowl with black and white balls, you know, whenever I connect with anybody, I throw away the black balls one by one. In my connecting with them closer and closer, I understand what are the white balls and black balls. White balls are commonality, and black balls are differences. I throw away the differences. I don't entertain it to come in our relationship. If I allow that to come, then we will become distanced. Therefore, he said, me and Jagannath Prabhu connect on so many things very well. And this one difference may be there, but we never talk about counseling. I would never bring the subject to him, ever, he said. So that then I understood actually. And then Maharaj ended with a very dangerous note. Maharaj said, even like-minded people are not fully alike, he said. There may be some differences always. Every jiva is unique. Like 5 fingers are unique. And also he said that even you should learn, he was telling that in dealing with the people, you can't expect same thing from everybody. Everybody is a different type of devotee. And they are made differently by Krishna. They are all unique. Even two snowflakes are not alike. Like these 5 fingers. One finger is used for challenge. This finger is used for sambodhan. This finger is the tallest finger. This finger is ring finger. And this is the tiniest finger. So every finger has a purpose. So this finger may feel inferiority complex if you don't agree that it is also important. Similarly, sometimes a devotee may apparently be insignificant, and if you consider him unimportant. So I was telling in one gathering that even this finger is sometimes helpful. Sometimes you can do like this. I said, everybody laughed. And do you all agree that this finger is not useless? I asked. There was a little girl, she was in second grade. She raised the hand and said, I want the mic. She took the mic. I asked, what is your answer? She said, Prabhu, this is the finger with which Lord Krishna lifted Govardhan hill. She said, everybody clapped their hands. So which I didn't have that example. Now I'm using it now when I'm going. You can even learn from a little child, you see. So therefore, if we want to respect all living entities, we have to accept their uniqueness. That means we have to treat all people equally by treating them differently. For example, say to your house, your father, mother are coming, and your brother, sisters are coming, and their children are coming. You won't give all of them the same thing. To children, sometimes you give a cake or something. To your others, you may give some snacks. And to your father or grandfather, grandmother, you give some liquid or something, juice or something, what they can take. You respect their tastes. So when we respect the tastes and uniqueness of others, Pritlakshan can develop very powerfully. It's definitely possible. Because everybody's like I'm serving prasad, I have experience, I can tell you honestly. Somebody takes the rice like a mountain and they make a hole in the center and they say, put dal in there, like a pond. Some people take like that. Some people take rice and they say, no dal, not even a drop also. I asked them, how will you eat? They said, no, only sabji. You seen that? Rice and some people, no rice, no dal, only chapati and sabji. This proves that living entities are unique. Like that, isn't it? And if we don't respect that uniqueness, see, should I serve them what they want or should I serve what I want to give? Yeah? What they want right now. So therefore, real Prita Lakshanam happens when we are willing to connect with others in their terms, not in our terms. When we don't throw expectations on them, when you don't try to clone them, when we don't minimize them or neglect them or destroy them. And one more thing to be added, you may be surprised by this. We should not too much pamper them also, which we generally don't talk about. I was hearing Gauragopal Prabhu was once telling, It's a nice example. He was telling that there was a plant which was paid a lot of attention by the Mali. He put fertilizer, he gave water, he gave fence, he did everything, that plant. And there was another plant far away that was uncared for. And later on, after 6 months to 1 year, when there was a storm, so this plant collapsed, which was so much cared and pampered by the gardener. And that other plant, it stood erect. So he was taken by surprise. So when he consulted his superior, he asked, "What is the matter? How is this? I paid so much attention, this was knocked off and not that." So that superior told him, "You see, you didn't give scope for this plant to make any endeavor or effort. The roots became underdeveloped because you supplied everything prematurely, in advance, before it can make any effort. On the other hand, the other plant, because you are not giving so much, so it was extending its roots in the ground this way, that way, and drawing water from here, water from here. It made some efforts like that. And then it grew very masboot, very strong like that. Similarly, our children, generally parents, love comes sometimes as pampering of the child. So pampered children actually, like for example, some mothers don't let the child walk at all. All the time they'll keep here, keep here. Correct, na? And even child says, "Mama, can I walk?" No, 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 come, come. You know? So if you too much, so we call this a baby follow-up. Another one is Baba follow-up. You know what is it? Baby follow-up means too much pampering and not giving them any freedom to grow, think, innovate, be creative, do mistakes and learn. That is called baby follow-up. Baba follow-up means, like one counselor, somebody came and told you, "Hey, your counselor I found in Germany." He said, "Really? I don't know when they went." Some counselors don't even know what's happening to their counselors. That counselor said his policy is, whenever they have problems, they can come to me. Otherwise, wherever they will do their thing, I will do my thing. They have no connection. That's because no connection means Levindas Baba. So we should not be Baba follow up, also baby follow up. We have to be in between. Correct, na? So don't pamper also too much, and don't be so indifferent also. There's something in between should be done. So what is that in between thing? Uh, we should be available for them. We should be approachable to them. We should be helpful to them. We should be able to give suggestions and guidance to them and be detached. Allow them to think, act, grow, commit mistakes, learn, stand up again. So in this way, so I was telling about compassionate and authoritative. Authoritative action is presenting from the scriptures very faithfully, and not fear to. You should not waffle. Waffling. Waffling means compromising on the truth. You should not do that. The truth has to be same, but it can be packaged and given very nicely. And P stands for pleasing. Actually, Krishna's philosophy is a very strong philosophy. If we have to present it, like for example, imagine you have to tell the people that this world is a place of suffering. Nobody wants to hear that, isn't it? So I once heard Rajavi Hari Prabhu speaking. I learned that, and then now I'm speaking in many places. He was telling there are 7 stages of life. As soon as a child is born, he spills. Spills what? Stool and urine. Then when he goes to school, he drills. 2, 1, sa, 2, 2, 2, sa, 4. Like that he drills. And when he goes to teenage, he has thrills. Teenage thrills. And when he gets married, he has bills. Now, you all know that very well. And then when he gets bill after bill after bill, then he gets fed up, he gets ills. When he gets ills, then he eats pills. Correct? And then when he eats pills more and more, when he gets very old, becomes 70, 80, then he writes wills after that. So when I tell this, new people enjoy it very much. And then I tell them at the end, in the same manner, life is full of, sufferings, many sufferings. Another way I explain suffering is, I ask the students they become very alert. Who is the doctor for the teeth? I will ask them, they'll say, dentist. Who is the doctor for the heart? They'll say, cardiologist. Who is the doctor for the bones? Orthopedician. Who is the doctor for the brain? Neurologist, they'll say. Who is the doctor for the eyes? Ophthalmologist. Like that Rikuan saying, about 15, 20 I will ask. And then I'll tell them, This goes to prove that every part of the body can give trouble. Otherwise, why doctors are there? Correct? Na? Isn't it? Otherwise, who will do a MD and be waiting? No patient will come. There is no trouble, isn't it? So, Maharaj was telling that we should present philosophy like Prahlad Maharaj. Huh? Like Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj was very friendly. He was very unassuming. He was free from arrogance. He was not having the holier than thou attitude. Huh? He was very unassuming and friendly with his friends. So friends were touched by the Prahlada's personality, his character, and his transparency, and his friendliness, and his well-wishing nature. Huh? So they were touched by Prahlad. Therefore, they took to chanting and dancing with Prahlad. So now I'm going to stop here. I should not. I don't want to keep on going. Now it's time for me to hear from you all. Uh, One last quote I'm going to show you, and then we will. Somebody can read this. This is by Jiva Goswami, what he says. Yeah. Mm. So, although generally jnanis and yogis they ignore others, they say that never congregate. You sit under different trees and you do meditation. Because the moment two people come together, there'll be gossip. That is their philosophy. Whereas Vaishnava philosophy is diametrically opposite. Parasparanu kathanam pavanam bhagavad yashaha mitoratir mitastushtis nivrittir mita atmanaha. Bhagavatam says that, if you see here, parasparanu kathanam, when devotees come together in each other's association, and they do Krishna Katha, pavanam bhagavad yashaha, the heart becomes purified because Lord's glories are heard. Mito ratir means satisfaction and happiness they get in each other's company. Like Advaita Acharya was calling all Vaishnavas to his home and having a Bhagavatam study circle. Similarly, Gadadhar Pandit is inviting Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, Haridas Thakur, even Rup Sanatan. They all would go to Tota Gopinath. They would have Bhagavatam discussion. So that gives satisfaction and happiness to everybody. Mito Rati, the loving friendships are developed also. And what is the result of that? Encouraging each other leads to complete eradication of material desires. So this is the method of destroying material desire in Vaishnava Sangha. We don't try by artificial means like jnanis or yogis. By coming to, actually, when Rati has two meanings. One is sex pleasure, another one is very strong spiritual pleasure. Shri Guru Charane Rati Aise Uttama Gati. We sing now. So that Rati, if such a strong love is awakened for Guru's order, and then one can surpass the allurements of this world. So this is actually the secret of Preeti Lakshanam. Preeti Lakshanam means when two devotees come together, they may exchange gifts, they may exchange prasadam, but ultimately the core goal of Preeti Lakshanam is Guhyamakyati Prichati, which means one less experienced devotee like me should inquire, and more experienced devotee like the seniors I told you, they are more anubhavi or experienced, realized devotees. They speak, and then there is a wonderful, exchange. So association means what? This is only Tamarksha Maharaj says. Association means three things. He says spiritual discussion, knowledge transmission, heart transformation. So you will see wherever there was association, Brigari, if you see, there was spiritual discussion with Narada. And then there is a knowledge transmission from Narada to Brigari. And then what was the heart transformation? A cruel-hearted hunter became a soft-hearted Vaishnava. Rahugana was arrogant king, became a humble king. Like this you will find Ajamila. A lusty Ajamila became a lover of God subsequently. Like that. So that transformation should take place. That's the goal of Preeti Lakshana. So let us stop here. Let us hear from all of you. Yes. Anybody? Which one? Yes, Prabhu. Yeah. Yes, we have a cordless mic for all of you. It will be nice to have two mics. We have one here, one Mataji side candy, one Prabhuji side candy. Let us take some reflections, some discussions. Huh? Yes, anybody? Prabhu is Mataji, is anybody? Radha Gopinath Prabhu, Shaman Prabhu, Krishna Prabhu, please. Enlighten us. We should be hearing from you.
I've never been so embarrassed in my life. I mean, I am accustomed to hearing false things attributed to me, but not in such a compassionate, authoritative, and a pleasing way. So I feel that if you can stop it, my spiritual growth can be assured.
Actually, this has been the humility of Shaman Prabhu always. Because he is so unassuming and friendly, you feel completely non-threatened in associating with him. Whether newest of the devotee or the oldest devotee can associate with him. He is like friend of all. So now you all can shoot down all the mistakes I did in the lecture by giving a more better understanding. Yes. Anybody? Yes. Mike, yeah.
We try to follow the same principles just to develop a closer friendship. Maybe minus Guhyamakyati or just the basics we do, even Guhyamakyati Prichati.
Like giving prasad, taking prasad, and giving gift.
Yeah. Maybe revealing each other's heart in terms of official matters. But my query was like, sometimes it's not directly possible to preach because, as you said, Sajatiya, they may not be of the same thoughts, same wavelengths. So does this suffice to bring them to a little higher level of Krishna consciousness? I'm speaking of non-devotees. My understanding is that they will become favorable to devotees, and maybe sometime later they will appreciate devotees. So, is that a right understanding, or should we actively try to preach?
Different preachers have different mood, and I will not challenge individual moods of different devotees. My understanding of making devotee means we should bring them to 16 rounds, get initiated, be a committed, dedicated member of ISKCON society. That's one of my goals in preaching. Because there are 5 levels. Beneficiaries. Beneficiary means they come to temple, enjoy festivals. Say, your temple is wonderful. Thank you. Hi, hi. Haribol. Bye, bye. And they go away. Prasad was nice. Darshan is. They just benefit from the temple. They don't do anything for the temple. Then above beneficiary is, contributors. They definitely give donation. Janmashtami time, Rathayatra time, they give donations. Above contributors are committed. Committed means they will regularly come and do some service. Like some Matajis come for cooking, some Matajis do garland making. Some Prabhujis are helping with our book distribution and all that. One service they will take up regularly. And they will just stick to that service year after year. There are people like that. They are committed people. And above that, there are dedicated people. Dedicated people are like HODs. You can just hand over one big service to them. Take the festival management, or take the book marathon, or take the Janmashtami fundraising. One person is enough. He will have 40, 50 people under him, and he will get it done. And he has the drive to carry people with him and put up advertisements and WhatsApp groups and everything. There are people like that. They are very good motivators of others. They're dedicated people. So above the beneficiary, contributors, committed, dedicated, there is one personality who is very rare, which is called missionary. Missionary people don't sleep also, they breathe always. Krishna consciousness. how to take this movement to another level. Constantly planning in the mind, day and night. As soon as there is an opportunity, they will try to introduce ISKCON there. There are people like that. And they have many dedicated people under them. So missionaries have a few dedicated people have many committed people under them. Committed people will find out contributors. So it's a pyramid actually. It's like a pyramid. We should try to take people from beneficiary to one level above at least. Krishna says that if somebody is just appreciating, you should make them contributors. That's and working for Krishna, and then gradually one step higher come to the committed point. If you make effort over a period of time, that will happen. Yeah. But as you said, some people may just be contributors of money. They openly say that. Please don't call me to temple. I'm too busy. I have a big business, but I can contribute. And actually, we don't pressurize people. Even I don't pressurize people to chant also. I tell the people that one round you're chanting now, you increase it only when you are feeling that internal inspiration. And generally on Ekadashi day, I tell them, Ekadashi day, think whether you can improve chanting one more. And because pushing too much will lead to rejection, they'll go away. We don't want that. We want them to continue. So that's one thing. Another thing we can also do is find out whom they have a lot of attraction for. Like today, Amogila Prabhu came today. So now some Pune people are his fans. So I tell Amogila Prabhu that, see, this is a very good family. They are not going beyond 4 rounds. Tell them to chant 8 rounds. And he says they will do it. Correct, no? And you give one gift in the hand and tell him, please give the gift to them. If we give, they will not value it. You tell him to give, they say, oh, Amogila Prabhu gave us. They will take it like. So Maharaj also teaches this principle. Maharaj says, caring for people means how best can I serve in this situation? We should ask. And then he told them, how best can I serve also includes how I can take myself out and put somebody else in my place who can actually touch the heart of the person and elevate him. That's for Maharaj himself what he did. When the scientist came from TAFR, instead of he preaching to him, what Maharaj did? He put our Vishwana Prabhu there. Vishwana Prabhu is Maharaj's disciple. Maharaj can say that I will directly preach to him. He didn't do that. Maharaj thought that it will be good for the scientist to associate with him. So we all have to do the same thing. If, like for example, some of the Pune congregation leaders have some problems, they may not reveal to me because they may think Radheshyam is a little young and immature. We will reveal Radha Gopinath Prabhu. Then I arrange a meeting of Radha Gopinath Prabhu. When he visits the homes, they will give him some suggestions. Or they may want to a little bit went out and take help from him. So by putting him in the front, I also get help. And that they also get help. And this is the way we all can serve. That's the best way I can serve. If I am arrogant, I will say, why you can't reveal to me? Why only to him? If I say like that, who will be in trouble? I will be in trouble and they will be in trouble. And Prabhuji also won't be able to come and help. Correct, no? So we all have to find out how we can help others and help ourselves by sometimes pulling out from the situation or sometimes putting ourselves in the situation. We should be ready for both. Yeah. Anybody want to add to this? Any of you? Where is the mic? Another mic. Yes, Prabhu, anybody would like to add to this? You can. Yeah. There are some preachers who may not want to make them into pakka devotees kind of thing. They may say that, like once I was discussing with Gaurang Prabhu, I asked him, what do you think is success in preaching? He said, success means seed sowing. Reach out to many number of people and then that seed may fructify after many years. So he gave one example. He said in IIT, one boy used to come to Bhakti Maharaj program. He said 16 years later, he came to 16 rounds. He was in America. Gaurang Prabhu met him. Every year increased one round. So Gaurang Prabhu was saying that example. He said that you can't make people devotees immediately. It takes time. Sukruti takes time to develop. So similarly, I asked my Guru Maharaj about Garu Gopal Prabhu's innovative preaching style. I had a long talk with him when I went to G. Maharaj said he is bringing people to come to ISKCON, those who were at one time very antagonistic to ISKCON. They will not even look at ISKCON. But now they are looking at ISKCON with a respectable eye. Maharaj said it's a different type of service. And Krishna has empowered him in one way. He and Jai Shetty, they both, Maharaj said, they are humble devotees. They are chanting 16 rounds. And they are relating with Vaishnavas very nicely. Hmm. And their preaching style is altogether innovative and different, which cannot be understood by common devotees. Many may misunderstand or mistake. But Maharaj said they are not independent of the spiritual master. They are doing it under the spiritual master. That's one. So why I am telling you these examples? Now myself or Gauranga Prabhu, we are all brahmacharis, but we have our unique styles of having goals in our preaching. And just like flowers are of different types, right? There's a jasmine flower, there's a gerbera flower, there's a lotus flower, there's a lily flower. And if somebody asks, why are not all the flowers be the same? Because every flower is different. Some flowers have fragrance, some have beauty, some have color. So we have to appreciate the Vaishnavas for their individuality and unique contribution. Then we can respect all by that. Is it all right? Anybody else? You don't have to ask question. You can comment. You all are teaching hundreds of devotees. You can comment.
Hare Krishna Dandot Pranam Prabhuji. This is a question not related to maybe today's subject, but it's related to the philosophy. I was discussing with a devotee who is a doctor and explaining her how Krishna is supreme. And I was telling her that Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, Aham sarvasya prabhavu mattaha sarvam pravartate. I am the source of everything and everything emanates from me. And while discussing on this subject, my son was there along with me, and he quoted one shloka of Sri Ishopanishad, Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam, Purnat Purnamudachyate, Purnasya Purnamadaya, Purnameva Vishishyate. So I told that doctor, so it is this. The entire Supreme Personality is Krishna. He is complete whole, and everything whole, whichever comes out, that's material world is also complete. So in discussing that, doctor said, yes, correct. It is like a pregnant mother. She is complete whole. Another whole is within her womb. And when she delivers, that is also whole, complete whole. And whatever remains, that lady is also whole. Yeah. So I wanted to know whether we can, how that this example can be taken by us with reference to Krishna's being Supreme Personality. What I was astonished at that moment, because I have never heard of this example. And then I was just pondering over it, and then I thought that this is a Mayavadi principle, because ultimately that lady becomes Krishna. So how do we take it, sir?
I generally don't use new examples like that. It may be sometimes risky sometimes. Because examples have the limit.
No, this example was not quoted by me, but
no, you didn't quote. He quoted. I know that he quoted it, and you thought it's an interesting example because it looks like the child also comes out complete and mother is complete. It may be a sound example. It looks nice, but sometimes people sometimes ask us reference where you got this from. People ask. Generally, when I quote from Prabhupada, it becomes easy for us. We can say the Prabhupada quoted here and this. I can check with Radha Gopinath Prabhu, Shamat. Anybody would like to say anything about it?
I wanted to know, how do we counter it? I mean, that's...
Actually, generally what Prabhupada would say, if somebody gives his own example and all, they will say, oh, that's wonderful, you are brilliant, and then he will go ahead with the next spiritual point. Prabhupada actually says, thinking is not as much enough as hearing for new people. For new people, their thinking is going to be on their own, always. Speculative thinking. Therefore, for them to hear more is important. If you see in Prabhupada's conversation, they will speak one sentence, and Prabhupada will speak big para. You see? I think battery is going off. Hare Krishna. How many of you noticed it? Some newcomer is speaking one line, and Prabhupada will speak one big para. Again one line and one big para. How many of you noticed that? You noticed that? And why Prabhupada does it? Prabhupada says that many times a newcomer speaks a lot which doesn't carry much weight. Substance is not there. So instead of allowing them to waste their time and waste our time also, if he says one sentence, you say, wonderful, wonderful, then you tell him the truth. Let him hear the truth from you. Then he will come to the truth. Otherwise, they speak a lot useless things. Discussion should be allowed for new people also, but not taking it tangentially away. Especially educated people, this is one problem. They sometimes speak many things, and that is, they will get into some useless talk, and the vibration will be spoiled. It will not be useful. But this example you said is interesting. We can ask whether they approve it. Our Prabhu, you do what do you think about this example? Shamantu, he is expert in Ishopanishad. In Chaupari temple, Shamantu used to teach Ishopanishad, and Radha Gopinath Prabhu used to teach Nectar of Instruction. Yeah, yes.
Now, I don't know whether this is connected with your query, but just last month I was hearing a class by Radha Govind Maharaj, and just following what you are saying, that if a insane person is crying all day, so the village knows he's mad. That's why he's crying. And one day he starts laughing. He says that doesn't mean he's become normal. He's still insane. So, ashastric analogies, whether they make sense or they don't make sense, they're still ashastric. And sometimes they may appeal, but as you rightly said, this I found in Dr. Patel and Prabhupada's morning conversation. He would say one thing and Prabhupada give a very lengthy thing. So if you see the whole progression in an year or so, or maybe less, 2 years or so, he would say something and then tell Prabhupada, now you'll accuse me of being Mayavadi. So he actually started knowing Mayavad just from hearing from Prabhupada. Otherwise, he was not knowing that he's a Mayavadi.
Amazing. Yeah. Yes, Prabhu. She was talking about that.
Prabhuji, I had a question. Thank you for this wonderful class, Prabhuji. But in the middle, you mentioned about Maharaj and Janina's Prabhu, their exchange about the same subject matter, about the consonant system. So my question was, what could the reasons be that there could be a difference of opinion among great Vaishnavas or two Vaishnavas on the same matter? What could the reasons be for the difference?
Everybody is unique, no? Krishna's devotees are unique. And ours is Achinta Beda philosophy also. So you will see that somebody may emphasize something more. Somebody may emphasize, for example, cow protection. If we ask for a vote, how many of you feel that cow protection should not only be spoken, but you would personally like to take it up and you want to have a Goshala with 1,000 cows? You would give 10 out of 10. Once Kaunte Prabhu asked us in one meeting like that. So those who said the 10 out of 10, they were told to stand near that wall. And then he asked, how many of you feel that cow protection may be all right, but that's not the main thing in our movement? We have to preach, we have to distribute books. How many of many reasons? We told them to come to this wall. And then others, he gradually asked questions. And we all found we were all in different places. Standing 2, 3, 4, he gave us grade. So he said, and all of you guys belong to ISKCON, he said. All of you ISKCON only. But even in ISKCON, the emphasis that we may give may vary from one Vaishnava to another, different things. And that also is based on your previous part of your life, your experiences, your assessment of the people you have come across and everything. So some people emphasize on mass preaching. Some people emphasize on class preaching. Some people emphasize on kirtan melas. Somebody emphasizes on japa. Somebody emphasizes on cow protection. So if Krishna has not made all the jivas unique, then there will be no diversity. With no diversity, our society would be boring. Imagine if everybody is only preacher, there's no counselor, there's no manager. How would the society be? So like the 5 fingers are diverse, but when you connect the 5 people together and then you get power. Correct, no? If diversity is not there, diversity means you can complement each other. Whereas if everybody is similar, imagine the whole world is filled only with engineers, no doctors, no lawyers, no accountants, what would happen? Correct, no? So therefore, Vaishnavas think in diverse ways, and the diversity should be respected. But unity is important. Like if you have 5 different flowers and you keep them all in a flower vase, they look very beautiful. Imagine if there is no flower vase. One flower is in this corner, that corner, this corner, this corner. And if somebody comes into a room, they will never see the flowers together. There is no unity, only diversity. Only diversity is useless. And only unity, in the name of unity, we cannot flatten the diversity. So we need a combination of the two. And our society is a beautiful society because leaders, when they have differences in opinion, they all come together to Mayapur, they have GVC meetings, they discuss. And then ultimately they arrive at a method where everybody agrees to work together in a certain way, which is what Prabhupada wanted. Prabhupada said, go to Mayapur and discuss about unity and diversity. Prabhupada says that. All right?
Thank you, Guruji.
Anybody
Thank
want
you.
to add to that? Anybody? Yes.
This is in regards to the response to the last question. So you mentioned that every devotee would have, based on his unique inspiration, a different uh, place where he would be putting his stress on book distribution, cow protection, things like that. So my question to you is that where does the emphasis that our Guru and Param Guru have laid, where does that come to picture? Because tomorrow I might be inspired to do 64 rounds, or I might be inspired to do Nirjan Bhajan.
Yeah.
Because that's my inspiration. So then what is, we can say, okay, I would say that, and there will always be people who will be following that particular idea.
Correct.
So where does the aspect of the loyalty to our Guru and what he stresses on, and for that matter, the loyalty to Prabhupada and what he stressed on, come into picture?
So when we were doing Bhakti Shastri, we had 12 aims of Shastric study. 12 aims. So in the first column, we have these things like, knowledge, understanding, realization, and all that. Second column, we have knowledge, skills, values. In the skills, we were taught about personal application, preaching application, theological application. The last column is the most important thing, where you have mood and mission, faith and conviction, Shastra Chakshus, responsibility for learning, authority, academic integrity. All these things come in the last one. So all of your counselors, now you have spent so many years in the movement, you have the last column is solid in you. So how do you hand over these things to the people? For example, what is Prabhupada mode? Prabhupada hated Sahajya mode. He wanted Yukta Vairagya mode. He hated, impersonalistic renunciation. He wanted Yukta Vairagya. Similarly, Prabhupada hated this Bhajananandi mode. He wanted us to be Goshtyanandi. And also, Prabhupada actually was not against building temples and collecting funds and expanding the communities. As long as it is amounting to preaching and expansion. Prabhupada was not that you first become pure and then you can preach. Prabhupada was in San Francisco. One girl asked Prabhupada, Swamiji, you know so much knowledge, you are preaching. What do we know? We don't know anything. One girl said, Prabhupada said, therefore Shrotavya, then Kirtitavya. He said, first you should hear and then preach. Then one boy raised a hand and asked a question. Swamiji, you say we have to hear. Should we hear for a long, long time? In our life, 10, 20, 30 years, and then we can preach? Prabhupada said, hear 2 lines and speak 2 lines. Prabhupada says, you don't have to wait to become pure to preach. Just to hear 2 lines. So Prabhupada's mood is so crystal clear, what he wants from us. So it is the duty of all of us, to those who are in leadership, to emphasize the mood and mission of Prabhupada and give faith and conviction to people in that mood also. And in order to do the responsibility for learning in Pune, we have a group called a SPORT, we call it. SPORT stands for Srila Prabhupada Reading Online Team, we call it. It's a reading team. Every day they read 20 minutes. Many Grihastha leaders, counselors, they put up the sport groups. So they every day like night 20 minutes, 8:40 to 9. Some people are doing, some are doing in the morning they're doing. So small books, medium books, bigger books, and then Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Sisi, they're gradually going. And if all counselors and such leaders are instituting it for their counselees, that daily reading input of Prabhupada's thing will bring the mood also in people. Otherwise people don't get to read the books. They don't hear the lectures of the spiritual master. Then the mood also is forgotten. Because the the spiritual master lives in the sound vibration and the follower lives with him. This Prabhupada says that. So if we are not taking advantage of the sound vibration, we are definitely going to be misled without that. So we all as leaders should follow it, and then we can express. Like in Pune, what we do, we told the congregation that 2 services are absolutely important for everybody to take part. One is the book marathon. Another one is fundraising in Janmashtami. Outside these 2, other times of the month, you do what you want to do. They have freedom. Like Janmashtami, they have been bringing almost 6 crores. Last Janmashtami, Shri Kushan Poo is here. Yeah, Sri Krishna Prabhu, this year was how much? Same, 6 crores. Last year also 6 crores. So, and the major amount comes from congregation. Actually, Sri Krishna Prabhu set a very good trend in this temple, whether it be collection of Lakshmi for building the temple, or after that, raising funds from the congregation gives money as well as they collect money also. So, and Jaydev Prabhu is such a high class example in Pune. He and his wife Satyavati Mataji, they themselves give a lot of funds. Actually, they're number one many a times. So when we have people who set an example and they are spearheading, then many people will follow that. Similarly, in book distribution, we have been ranking first in the world last 3 times, but I can say that only about 40% of the congregation is participating at the moment. 40 to 50%, I think, max. The other part of the congregation will, if they take part, the scores can be even more bigger. You know, as you rightly said, I have one advantage in Pune, as well as Gopalakrishna Maharaj comes before the marathon and after the marathon. Both times he comes. Initially he comes and gives push and goes. After that he comes to give gifts. And last 3 years he has been doing that. I told Maharaj, see, you're coming in the beginning and end, therefore we are able to score so high. I told him. And in the Janmashtami time collection, that trend was started when NVCC project was in pipeline from that time. And the trend is still going on. We have Shiv Prabhu made one team of 700 devotees who are donors as well as collectors in the congregation. And for them, he has been giving very nice gifts like Govind Prabhu used to take them for yatra. Gaurang Prabhu used to come and give lectures like that. He had arranged. Many people were opposed in the beginning. Why these people are given special treatment? And Shiv Prabhu told them that if you want special treatment, you also join this group. They're most welcome. Something very privileged he arranged like that. So after that, he is very purpose driven, Sri Gujan Prabhu. He has been doing that very well. So these two are very important. Other times, congregation councillors take their counselees for outings, they take also. We face sometimes one challenge of not able to get all the people on Sunday, but then unless some special personality is coming. If somebody from Chowpatty is coming, big crowd will be there Sunday. Today, Amugala Prabhu is there. We are seeing faces which you have never seen from different parts of the planetary systems. All living entities gathered. If any local leader is giving, they will not come. Once I lamented about this to Radha Gopinath Prabhu. Radha Gopinath says, you don't know the slogan? He said, what is it? The priest is not famous in his own local town. That's what he was telling. He said, in Bombay also, if some local devotee is giving, people lot may not come. But when visitor is coming, then big crowd may come. He said. So, but one thing we have understood that there are committed people for fundraising, there are committed people for book distribution. Like you said about the emphasis that acharyas have made, we know we don't have to have our own mood. We should follow the acharya's mood, definitely. And while following the acharya's mood, we also have some leverage or freedom to do things which we want to do at other times. Same with brahmachari. One brahmachari wants to learn harmonium. He is not attending Bhagavatam class because he wants to learn harmonium. Can we allow him? I told him, you attend Bhagavatam class. In your personal time, you learn harmonium. Who is going to stop you? Then he started that. So we all have some amount of personal time. You know, there's 3 types of karma. Vihita karma, kamya karma, nishiddha karma. Like a child wants to play. Mom is saying, better play inside the car. Car is a big car, Innova car. You can sit in the back seat and play. He says, no. I want to play near the ocean. So mother says, okay, you can play in the seashore, but not go to the ocean. You have to promise me. The child promises. So playing inside the car is Vihita karma. Playing in the seashore is Kamya karma. Getting into the ocean is Nishiddha karma. So prohibited action should never be done. Like a king, for example, is married to one queen, it's in Vihita karma. He want to marry many queens, it's Kamya karma. He want to go to a prostitute, Nishiddha karma. Correct, no? So we can also tell the devotees like this. Okay, Vihita karma is temple, GBCs, and Prabhupada and the Guru want you to do these things. That is Vihita karma, do this. And they can have some room for Kamya karma also. All right? Thank you. So now we have 10 more minutes. Anybody would like to speak? Krishna Chandra Prabhu, can give the mic to Prabhu. Is it? Okay. Yes, Prabhu.
No, I have nothing to add. I was just appreciating such a wonderful class. Very, very, very nice. Thank you.
You are a living example of Preeti Lakshana. Maharaj has glorified you and Srinathji Prabhu so much for accommodating many of the guests whom he brings, from all over the world. It will be nice to hear something from you about Preeti Lakshana. You can tell us how you win the heart of Maharaj. You can reveal a secret to us.
You're like the teacher who knows the answer but is asking the student when they study. I think if we want to please, if you're grateful to a spiritual master, you want to please him, then, and it's a very happy occasion for everyone. So, and if you get an opportunity, then actually you are very privileged. So, in my case, Shinaji Prabhu's case, because we come from a certain material status, Krishna has arranged that. So, Maharaj has utilized it so well, and that helps many people to make the first connection to Chopati or to ISKCON, especially if they are not devotees. Especially many Westerners come, then they also expect a certain amount of worldly wise people at the same time who are connected to ISKCON. So they see both. So we fitted into that, and there are some others now also who in that category. So Maharaj is very expert in that because he is very keen to preach in the US also. So when his friends come here, then he thinks and he will make a request. Just like a very, very world famous person. World famous is really one of the most popular people in the US. Flew down for just a week in April and GV. Almost very few people even knew. And he came in April and he went back. But the arrangements were made, so he spoke to one family which were very, very adept at doing that. So they were going to leave town next day. They were going, in fact, out of the country or out of town. I'm not. So literally the next day, they just dropped the idea, canceled everything, and then went there and stayed there for 7 or 8 days, personally cooking for them and serving them because Maharaj knew that it fits well. So our role would be to see that we are happy to be used as the instrument, and that's not difficult because Radhanath Maharaj makes it so pleasing. But primarily, if you just open whatever and situation is, we just accept that he knows best. So in many cases, we are not fitting in. Let's say, so that's fine. I mean, there are many. We have to be. We appreciate and respect and love that others get the chance.
Actually, to be an instrument like that, you have zero resistance. Maharaj calls it as a superconductor. Like Prahlad Maharaj was a superconductor, which means zero resistance. Like if you see the beginning of Gita, Arjuna had 100% resistance in the beginning. At the end of Bhagavad Gita, Karishya Vachananta was zero resistance. So that means becoming an instrument involves, reducing resistance, reducing, and making it practically zero. Karishya Vachanam Tava. So that is not a very easy thing which you have successfully done. And I feel that is one of the reasons why you got so much rich realizations in your Vaishnava life. And, by your shining example, many, many Pune counselors are also very inspired by you very much. We had one session by Krishna Chandra and his good wife. I was giving a course called Art of Counseling in Pune for graduating people through a course. It's actually 15 sessions. So each session, I will speak between 11 to 12:15, 1 hour 15 minutes. And next 12:15 to 1:30, I was inviting different counselors to come, Grihastha counselors. Because, I can only speak from Shastra and they can speak from real life realizations. So they were answering questions. And many people told me, Rajampu, your lecture was nice, but the Grihasthas made it complete, the counselors. Because congregation could connect with Grihasthas and ask questions. So Krishna and his good wife, they gave many nice pointers for them to implement. It was very nice. So that's the reason I was telling all of you, you are coming to Pune would be greatly benefiting. Gaurang Prabhu told me that Pune is like an extended community of Bombay. He said, it's not very far. So many people who have a house in Bombay, they have a house in Pune also. You know that? Especially when they are fed up with the too much crowd in Bombay, they come to Pune on the holidays. So you can come to our temple like a holiday and make it a holy day for us by giving nice seminars here. Yeah.
That is very another beautiful dimension about Priti Lakshanam, and that we saw in Maharaj's practical dealings. And this is relevant to what I'm saying because we saw this in Pune more than anywhere else. The historical Pune Yatra, which took place for so many years, was largely the big attraction, apart from the prasadam and the sangha and the karta and the kirtan, long kirtans and the dramas, was to see Maharaj's Priti Lakshana with his God and God sisters. And we all remember graphically in our deep in within our within the vision of our mind that there would be not one Vyasasana, but there would be 14 Vyasasans,
Yeah.
right? It never happens like that. Maharaj will be just sitting, not even in the center, he may be sitting somewhere else. And Kaushalya Mataji and Gargamani Prabhu and everyone, all the who's who are there. And the way these 14, 15, 16 devotees, or maybe 10 devotees, and Giriraj Maharaj and everybody else, and how they interacted with each other, they are, for us, they are, well, Maharaj is unique and because he is our spiritual master, but they are equals. From one point of view, they're Prabhupada disciples. So how these equals who are superior to us dealt with each other was so beautiful to see. And Maharaj said that, and that is actually one of the definitions of our counselor system also, that when devotees see that relationship, the juniors feel very sheltered. So a large part of Priti Lakshanam among senior Vaishnavas, when it is demonstrated publicly in an open forum, is very sheltering to the juniors like ourselves, because we see that a lot of unity, love, camaraderie, friendship, sharing, leg pulling, joking, you know, taunting, and just like how two friends can deal. They can, but they're not taunting like to pull somebody down in a wrong way, but they're just actually glorifying and like taunting. No, when you see such loving dealings, then the juniors, more than any philosophy, sometimes we feel, oh, this is so nice. And therefore, when you would go back from Pune in the train, Prabhuji would keep the train for 3 days at Pune, hired for 3 days, and you would go back, Maharaj was, so, what are the best thing you liked in the whole 3 days? You would ask these questions, and we will say, oh, Prasadam, Kirtan was very nice, or Janasri was dancing so nicely, and oh, Maharaj, the way you were dancing on the, that, that garden behind, garden behind where you go up, and the slide and all that. And I remember vividly Maharaj, when that, I think 2 years when Giran Maharaj came in consequence, right? And that is so also vividly embarked in our hearts, that many devotees said, Maharaj, the way you and Giriraj Maharaj dealt with each other, that was the highlight.
Yeah.
Right? And they were not just saying to make him happy, but it was so true. So I think this is one another dimension which we is also very sacred to the Akapati Lakshanam. Right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Our Guru Maharaj once said, I'm a fool, he said. Our Guru Maharaj. And so Jayadus Maharaj said, yes, you are a fool. You are like a wonderful flower like Vaishnava. So such things would happen.
Yeah.
I mean,
That was
yeah.
so nice with the Lakshanam.
That was very... when His Holiness Bhakti Sridhar Maharaj was in Bengal, Prabhupada returned to India, no? So first time when Prabhupada returned to India. So he went to that matha. At that time, His Holiness Bhakti Sridhar Maharaj was in the rooftop along with his disciples. So Prabhupada had brought two prominent disciples with him, Achyutananda Prabhu and I think His Holiness Kirtanand Swami, I think, on either side. They both were in saffron. So Prabhupada brought them. So as soon as Prabhupada met him, all the disciples, both Guru's disciples, they're watching at that exchange, which was very deeply touching. It's very vividly explained in Leelamrita. Bhakti Sridhar Maharaj meeting Prabhupada, he had glistening eyes. He said, Swami Maharaj, you have fulfilled the desire of our spiritual master so successfully. Krishna and Guru have empowered you, reach out to the Westerners. And then he saw these two boys, young boys taking sannyas. He said, you are from Western world. In India, you will get so much appreciation and respect from Indians for having dedicated your life. He praised them very profusely. So Kirtan Swami made notes and immediately sent it to all the other leaders. how Bhakti Maharaj very heartily, genuinely, openly glorified Prabhupada. He didn't let Prabhupada speak at all, continuously glorified Prabhupada so much. So Prabhupada considered Bhakti Sridhar Maharaj to be a senior. And Prabhupada said he is very deeply learned in Sanskrit and he is a great authority in the subject of Bhakti. So Bhakti Thakur called him as Bhakti Rakshak, he called him. So here is such a wonderful relationship between them. The next day morning there was a Harinam Sankirtan. All the brahmacharis were going to the marketplace. So both these gurus, Bhakti Rakshidhar Maharaj and our Prabhupada, they sat in a rickshaw because he had this arthritis problem, Bhakti Rakshidhar Maharaj. So he can't climb up, climb down very easily, walking also. So they both sat in the rickshaw and going there to watch the Harinam Sankirtan, to show to make the people feel how much they loved watching Harinam Sankirtan. So when they were together, so the togetherness of senior devotees, which Dwarkadish Prabhu emphasized now, that is a very important aspect. Unfortunately, I feel it's a real, it's a fact that many of us seniors are like apex in a pyramid. We don't, the apexes never come together very easily. So Sri Ravi Shankar's movement, they call it as apex. Also the leaders, like in Calcutta, I heard that they have four leaders in each prominent city they have. So about 100 leaders come together who are all part of apex group. And these 100 people are only running the whole India in Sri's group. And Sri Ravi Shankar personally takes classes for them. And they told me that monthly they come for 4 days together, every month. Because I know this from one boy who comes to a Calcutta temple. So I asked him, what inspired you to come here? He said, Sri Ravi Shankar told him that no organization has a pakka sadhana like ISKCON devotees. He said, go in the morning program, you will watch from Mangalarti up to the Bhagavatam, these fellows are fully, they give their early morning hours to God. You go and watch, he told them. So he comes there to Calcutta temple. So at that time I was thinking, the leaders are coming for 4 days together, but how much are we coming together? It's very rare actually. But you all are doing in ACM, which is very nice. So as soon as Ranath Maharaj created one group called CSV in those days, Counselors for Spiritual Vision, there were about 14 of us. It used to be a very wonderful program in Govardhanaka village. Later on, many devotees became international preachers. They started traveling to different corners of the world. So I used to be prompt because I was most needy fellow. I am more like a beggar. Because they are in a giving mode, I am in a taking mode, grabbing mode. So I used to be there, Sanatma Prabhu will be there, Shaman Prabhu used to be there, Radha Govinda Prabhu, like the 3-4 of us used to be there. But others were difficult to match the dates and timings. So at the end of the day, we could not continue it. But it's a very wonderful thing for seniors to come together. What you said is very true. It's very nourishing even to all of us, as well as those juniors who are looking up to. They want to see the seniors non-envious of each other, and friendly with each other, connect with each other. So sometimes they push also seniors, you go and meet. Like, me and Chaitanya Prabhu had one, podcast talk. Me and Amogila Prabhu had one podcast talk. So many mails came to me saying that, Prabhu, we thought senior leaders will never connect because they are all there in their own field. So it's a very nice thing. The ACM happens 4 times a year, I believe, right? This type of ACM? 3 times a year. And 1 time Yatra, I think. Everybody goes to Yatra. Okay. Very nice it is.
So, the brahmacharis, for some time, they were not coming so much, but then when Grihasthas insisted brahmachari should also be there, and they lovingly complied. Because we all felt that when they are also taking active participation, and the family is there in a larger way, then the presence of each one of them actually is so valuable. And now we can see, our brahmacharis also, they actively participate.
Wonderful.
So we Grihasthas felt that yes, SCM has more value, and all of you are also there, right? So this program actually has grown. The ACM program has become stronger and stronger over the years, and most people will probably not want to miss this. They'll probably change therefore they announce the date beforehand, and so everyone is traveling and preaching. But most people will try to accommodate, and
You announce how much in advance you announce the next meet? About 2 months? You give 2 months time?
About 2 months, Prabhu.
2 months. Okay. Yes. 3 months, huh? Oh, very good. That means in one meeting you tell the date of the next meeting? Oh, amazing it is. Very wonderful. Then they can block the calendar and all, for this. Very good idea. Yes, ma'am.
And I was hearing from Dwakadesh Prabhu and Krishna Chandra Prabhu. It has come to my mind the program which was started in Pune program specially in very initial stage continuously every year. All the kirtans, Mangalarti, all the steps in Mafatlal Bungalow. And it is very true that the entire spiritual energy of that Pune, of course, Pune one temple was already there, because that result, whatever these Prabhupada disciples, everyone, it was a big festival. And that entire output has come to here to Pune temple today, I could realize. Because entire that vibration and that spiritual potency was so much, it has come from camp to this place. We can realize that. Because of course, that time, Prabhupada's time or before that, Vaishnava time, those things were there. But here also, whatever the spiritual vibration was there, that could not, sustain there. It has come here. And there we stopped that thing. Now here we are developing it.
Also, our Sri Guchan Prabhu, Revatipati Prabhu told me that we can arrange a program even for 10,000 devotees in Pune. Very close to the temple, we have a ground available. And our Pune temple is ready to take the full management if you all are agreeable. If you can inspire Maharaj. When I asked Gaurang Prabhu, he said, don't tell now. When Maharaj after comes, leave 1 or 2 months, he said, then we can suggest. Correct, Sri Guchan Prabhu? Sri Guchan Prabhu and Revatipati Prabhu is here. Correct, do you agree?
We heard these rumors in Bombay also. You're a little excited about it.
Yeah, it will be very nice if we can restart it, because I can honestly tell you for the whole year we get energy.
One more thing I wanted to complete it, because Srila Prabhupada asked Giriraj Maharaj to just take care of that temple. You are everything to take care of the temple. It is your responsibility. And it was in a very bad shape. Giriraj Maharaj was very unhappy. I have no influence in Bombay. I don't have any capacity to collect fund also. Prabhupada is just giving this responsibility. What I have to do? He was hankering. Prabhupada has to leave for the United States. So he was waiting for the instruction. What is the instruction to build the temple? So that was the day he had to fly. So all the people have gone to the airport. That was the system, initial stage. All Prabhupada could complete his formalities. So he sat there and the kirtan was going on. So Giriraj Maharaj was waiting. The instruction is not given by Prabhupada anything to me. Now he is leaving and he has handed over all full temple of Bombay for me. And he was worried. Then the kirtan got over. Prabhupada has to leave. And Prabhupada just called Giriraj Maharaj. Such Sankirtan you perform, your temple will automatically be made. This was the instruction. So those kirtan which we did it at Mafatlal Bungalow, today I could realize that, because we are witnessing it, how the spiritual things are manifesting.
In fact, it used to be 3 to 4 hours dancing kirtan. I wonder, Maharaj used to continuously dance 2-3 hours. Jaranivas Prabhu, Maharaj, Sachinand Maharaj, Jayadut Maharaj, so many great souls.
There was no any systematical thing like running here and there and running like children playing in that seashore. Everything, we are all running with the kirtan.
Yeah.
So those things, of course, in history book, lots of things we can read it. But this is also, I feel, in our generation, this is a real
Riti Lakshana.
Not only history, it is a practical manifestation.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you for reminding us. Thank you. Yeah, yes, Prabhu.
When you were giving different examples of Priti Lakshanam, and then Dwarkadish Prabhu gave that amazing point about how when the seniors, when Maharaj is interacting with his god brothers, how that gives us a message on Priti Lakshanam. So I was remembering 2 things I thought I'll share here. When I joined the ashram, Maharaj used to take this meeting with Shamanand Prabhu, Jagannath Prabhu, and few other seniors on book distribution marathon. just before the marathon, he would take a meeting. And generally, Maharaj's mood was in the marathon meeting, he would often say this, that we should, I think we all know this, we should aspire to double our book distribution compared to last year, and we should pray to come last. So the whole idea is that our book distribution will become, overall ISKCON's book distribution will grow. So this, I used to think, wow, this is a beautiful statement. We want to double it and we want to come last. But 1 year, I was very surprised. Maharaj was telling Shamanand Prabhu, Jagannath Prabhu, and few others in the book distribution meeting go down. Because that year, Gopal Krishna Maharaj and Sachinandan Maharaj had come, and 1st December was a Sunday. And they came for Sunday feast. And after the Sunday feast class, and they all spoke about book distribution and everything, and then they all went. So in the evening, Maharaj had a meeting with the book distribution team, and Maharaj said, so this year in marathon, we should try to come first. I was like, how come Maharaj is saying this? Maharaj never said we should come first. But then Maharaj kept talking, is it possible? What is the strategy? So then I was thinking, what is this going on? And finally, in the end, Maharaj revealed why he said that. He said, see, we never come first, right? And it's okay. We should never want to come first. But this year is very special. Gopal Krishna Maharaj and Sachinandan Maharaj came here. So if we come first, we can tell the whole world that we never come first. But because Gopal Krishna Maharaj and Sachinandan Maharaj came and inspired our congregation, we came first. So this will be a chance, Maharaj said, this will be a chance for us to glorify my God brothers. So I was like, wow, this is amazing. And then if you see the Vyasasana also, Maharaj designed in Chopati is very unique. You will see very rarely there is a Vyasasana like this. The whole idea is that Sunday feast class, Maharaj would have his God brothers sit on the Vyasasana next to him. And then he would speak about each person with such intensity and in such detail. And then he would tell the audience, the devotees, let us welcome him in our traditional style. So everybody would say Hari Bol, and then Maharaj would say thousands and thousands of times louder. And then after Maharaj would, and that loud Hari Bol, most of these guests would be like overwhelmed. And then one of the guests would take the mic and say, oh, Maharaj has completely embarrassed me. And then Maharaj, would take the mic, and with a twinkle in his eye, Maharaj would say, so if you are embarrassed, then our mission is accomplished. So that's why I saw once Gurudas Prabhu, with eyes had become completely moist. And after Maharaj honored him in front of everyone, with tears in his eyes, he said, Radhanath Swami Maharaj is the most non-compromising, open-minded person I've ever met. So like this, I just shared a few thoughts when Varkadish Prabhu was saying. Thank you.
Very true. Yeah. But when I come, how will I get to hear others speak also? Yeah. Actually, one very important point I didn't make during my talk, which I will just say in 2-3 minutes, I will say, and then Prabhuji can speak. One amazing phenomenon in Krishna's pastimes, you will see that Krishna, while dancing on Kaliya, on the top of Kaliya's hoods, there was loving exchange between Krishna and the devotees. All the devatas were showering flower, they were also enjoying the kirtans and dance and everything. And below his lotus feet, Kaliya was in big trouble, we know that. He was getting purified. So even while purifying the demons, Krishna did not compromise on his loving exchange with his devotees. Similarly, in the Govardhan Leela, you will see when Krishna lifted the Govardhan hill, above the mountain there was purification going on for Indra, and below the mountain there was Priti Lakshana. You see, in these pastimes. So I'm going to show you a short Kaliya dance kirtan. So you can give me?
तरणतां दिनतकिटतां तरणतां दिनतकिटतां तरणतां दिनतकिटतां तरणतां दिनतकिटतां तरणतां.
See, here they show many things, like how the Yamuna has the waves. They will show, and how because of Kaliya's poison, the coward boys will faint unconscious. And after that, when Krishna goes to Kaliya, Kaliya will show also, try to hit Krishna. At the time, Krishna will climb on the hoods, and after that, two things they are showing in the dance. One is how Krishna entertained and enthused all the creatures who are all his devotees and demigods. And then how the Kaliya was dealing with Krishna. Both they will show. When you see this Abhinaya, you will see that.
तां धीं तरणतां तां धीं तरण यमुना तटाक पंकेरुह पदतां धीं तरणतां यमुना तटाक पंकेरुह पदतां धीं तरणतां यमुना तटाक पंकेरुह पद सारिस सारिस सारस दल नयनायत साहस मोदित जगदिहतां धीं तरणतां धीरतकिटतां धीं तरणतां. तामिततज्जं तकतज्जं तकधिकतज्जं तां 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 मदभुजङ्गशिरपादयुगपाणि धृतमधुनिनादवेणुरवतामिततज्जं तकतज्जं तकधिकतज्जं तां तामिततज्जं तकतज्जं तकधिकतज्जं तां तामिततज्जं तकतज्जं तकधिकतज्जं तां तामिततज्जं तकतज्जं तकधिकतज्जं तां मदभुजङ्गशिरपादयुगपाणि धृतमधुनिनादवेणुरवतामिततज्जं तकतज्जं तकधिकतज्जं तां गोपाङ्गनाकुलवृतमाधव मधुसूदन हरिसम्मदन पदनटन तगतगन नत जन परिवृत सदय मुद हृदय तामिततज्जं तकतज्जं तकधिकतज्जं ता निरन्तरानन्द मुख कमल अनन्त नटनाङ्ग पदयुगल निरन्तरानन्द मुख कमल अनन्त नटनाङ्ग पदयुगल मधुमुरलीधर हरि लहरी मरीचि सगीत मनोरमण मधुमुरलीधर हरि लहरी मरीचि सगीत मनोरमण व्रज दुरन्दर जलद शोभमान धर चिकुर मुकुल मकुट नील शिखण्डक मोहनाङ्ग कलिङ्ग नटन तामिततज्जं तकतज्जं तकधिकतज्जं तामील मनोहर जाल विभूषण निरत चलञ्चल भुजङ्ग नर्तन
नीरजदळात अधिक मृदुल पद निकट तरङ्गो तुङ्ग ताडङ्ग नृत्तक नृत्तकतां तकतै
तक तदिनिधियत तक ताकिट नग जग दृग जगनन्द तक नक जगदृग जगनन्दं
यमुना तटाक तुङ्ग तरङ्गं हिमकरस्तिमित रमित शुभाङ्गम् इतस्ततश्चर करुणापाङ्गं यदि वर हृदय सरोरुह भृङ्गम्
दिनततिल्लान 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 ध्रुगतकिटतिल्लान
तिलक सिन्दूर हलक शृङ्गार वदन गम्भीर उरगफण सञ्चार नन्द सुकुमार नवनीत दधिचोर चन्दमणिहार जलजभवनुत धीर
नन्द सुकुमार नवनीत दधिचोर स्वच्छन्द मणिहार जलजभवनुत धीर जय विजयी भवनन्द कुमार व्रज जन परमानन्द किशोर काळीय नटनानन्द गम्भीर करुणा रसयुत भाव शरीर
दीं ततां तदीं ततां ततै दीं ततां तदीं ततां ततै दीं तत्तों तदीं तत्तां ततै दिमित दिमित किट जणु
जगनगनं तरि तगनग जं तरि धिरिकु ताकु धिमित धिमित किट जणु
ब्रज कुमार महिमालंकृत मनमाला दुरंदर कृत कृताकार
तज्जं तत्तकज्जं तत्तकन्नुं तत्तकर्रुं तत्तज्जं तत्तकज्जं तत्तकन्नं तत्तकर्रुं
తాకు జనం తరి తతకు జనం తరిత జనం తరి తదిమిత కిట జొను తాకు జనం తరి తతకు జనం తరిత జనం తరి తదిమిత కిట జొను
అద్భుత నర్తన చిత్రిత ముద్రిత విద్యుతముద్భవం అద్భుతమద్భుతం
తాకు జనం తరి తతకు జనం తరిత జనం తరి తదిమిత కిట జొను
అద్భుత నర్తన చిత్రిత ముద్రిత విద్యుతముద్భవం అద్భుతమద్భుతం
తాకు జనం తరి తతకు జనం తరిత
దితిశుత కాల విధినుత శీల అతిశయ నీల ధృత పదలో
తాకు జనం తరి తతకు జనం తరిత
దితిశుత కాల విధినుత శీల అతిశయ నీల ధృత పద లోల
తాకు జనం తరి తతకు జనం తరిత జనం తరి తదిమిత కిట జొను
తదిమిత కిట ధిమితాద ధిమిత కిట ధిమిత
లోక సమ్మోహన గీత
తరిత జం తక కీట తుం నం కీ
హరి జయ విజయీ భవనంద కుమార జన పరమానంద కిశోర కాళీయ నటనానంద గంభీర కరుణారసయుత భావ శరీర
మద మధుకర మధుపధరల సమనయన కమలదల చలనముని హృదయమపి చోర చాతుర దయాకర మురాది భీకర మద మధుకర మధుపధరల సమనయన కమలదల చలనముని హృదయమపి చోర చాతుర దయాకర మురాది భీకర మద మధుకర మధుపధరల సమనయన కమలదల చలనముని హృదయమపి చోర చాతుర దయాకర మురాది భీకర మద మధుకర మధుపధరల సమనయన కమలదల చలనముని హృదయమపి చోర చాతుర దయాకర మురాది భీకర.
You like that? I don't know whether I only enjoy it, everybody likes it. Because I'm from South India, I'm very fond of this. So, thank you very much. Shri Prabhupada ki